So let's now talk about the timing of events. We can see that he was born in a Venus main period. So he lasted the first 11 years of his life. Venus in the first house. It gives appreciation for the fine arts, performing arts, healing arts, and it gives some interest in ashrams, convents, monasteries, and foreign lands. He then had his 6 years of sun, and then right here he went into the 10 years of moon, and that's about, he moved to USA in 1938 during the moon main period. Moon rules his 9th house. That's gurus and spiritual knowledge. He moved to USA to study Zen, to go for Zen training. Moon rules the 9th house of religion, and he went on to get a master's degree in theology and became a Episcopal priest. In 1950, he leaves being a priest because he went into Rahu. Rahu changes everything. Rahu gives desires, ambition, restlessness. It's aspecting Saturn where you live, so he changes everything. Moves to California, moves to San Francisco. Gets involved in Asian studies, American Asian studies. Rahu's foreign lands, aspecting Saturn in the house of research, knowledge. And he probably experimented with drugs in the 60s, late 60s, during his Rahu period. Rahu's drugs. He did go on to say at one point that after experimenting with all the psychedelics, he finally said, you know, if you get the message, hang up the phone. So he discontinued use of the psychedelics. I think he continued to smoke marijuana. So he went into his Jupiter main period in 1967. So he was teaching, publishing, consulting, doing advisory roles, working in religion, working out of his home. He had a big radio talk show in Berkeley that was quite successful. Gave him a big crowd of followers in the late 60s and 70s. But he died in 73. Let's take a look at that. So he died in Jupiter Mahadasha. So where is Jupiter? Jupiter rules continuation of family life. It's in the 4th house of home life. It's afflicted by Rahu, unexpected calamity. Both ruled by Saturn in the 8th house of death, death-like experiences. And the subperiod was Mercury, and this Mercury is combust and afflicted by Mars, ruling the 6th house of health issues. Let's see if we can even find that with it was November 16th, 1973. So let's take a look at a transit chart here. Let's go back to November 16, 73. Here we are. Let's see if we can see anything. Should be a clue here. Rahu and Ketu were in odd signs, Sagittarius and Gemini, at 5 degrees. So here's this chart right here. Anything at 5 degrees in odd signs? Yeah, Rahu, Saturn, and Ketu. So take a look at this. The inner chart is his chart. The outer circle are the transits. So this Rahu in Sagittarius was sitting right here at Sagittarius at aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away. So Rahu at 5 degrees was afflicting Saturn at 5 degrees and afflicting Ketu at 4 degrees. So that means this Ketu down here at 5 degrees was on top of Saturn, Ayush Karaka, significator for longevity, being afflicted. Aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away. So this Ketu was afflicting this Rahu. So there alone we see what is going on. And here we have Saturn also transiting this 8th house. Mercury was transiting the 12th house. Jupiter, his Mahadasha ruler, was in his sign of debilitation. And here's Venus, which rules his 12th house, which is also end of life, transiting his Sun, Mercury, and Mars. This Venus was at 17 degrees. Look at that, right on top of Mars, close to Sun and Mercury. But I think the real culprits were Rahu and Ketu on top of his Saturn. Generally, you can overlay the transits and find just about any event, the cause for any event, just by overlaying the transits, just using systems approach techniques. Okay, these are the main points from the chart for Alan Watts. He was quite a brilliant man. 8th house, by the way, the 8th sign, Scorpio, relates to the 8th Bhava. You'll find a lot of Scorpios that are going through tremendous transformations this lifetime. They're vulnerable, mysterious, private, fixed in their opinions, but very keen on research, language, mystical experiences, and occult knowledge. Namaste.